Hello and welcome to Team PokeMart, your one-stop shop for things that you need to stop and or shop for. And as a store located in the northern hemisphere of this Poke planet, you may have noticed that it's getting a bit chilly lately. And heating bills can get really expensive, so the geniuses of upper management have decided that it was a great idea to get some young Magby to wander around the store in order to keep the customers warm. And I mean, I don't mind, they're pretty chill, which is rather ironic. However, when summer rolls around, we won't exactly have any use for them anymore. So I would like to use today's promotional material to let all of you valued customers know that Magby pre-orders are now officially available. That's right, all you have to do is give me money and expect nothing whatsoever in return for like 6 months, and hopefully by the time that comes around, you'll have forgotten all about your pre-order and we can sell the Magby elsewhere for a tidy profit. Stupid customers. Now, to sign up for our Magby pre-order system, I have a checklist of questions to ask you first. Question number 1. Do you wish to sign up for our Magby pre-order scam system? I meant to say system. Yes? Good. Question number the second one. Can you provide me with your credit card details as well as the credit card details of your immediate family? Yes? Excellent. And question number 3. Have you subscribed to the Team PokeMart channel in order to receive regular updates of our new stock? No? Well, we can fix that right here and now, valued customer. Just push the button and your Magby will be on its way. But with all of that boring admin out of the way, let's tell you about your new purchase. And we start our video today with Magby, who is the baby of the family despite being the second Pokemon of the line introduced to us, having made its debut in Generation 2. 1 generation after Magma and 2 generations before, well, you'll see. And Magby is, well, truthfully, I don't know what he is. He's got bulbous spheres on his head, almost like a flower shape, and his mouth to me looks kind of like a beak, which I suppose will become more pronounced as we move throughout the line. But then he has arms, so he's not a duck or another brand of bird, and if he is, he's failing at being a bird pretty damn hard. From his arms are 3 little claws, which are more or less replicated in its legs and feet. His stomach, which is a creamy yellow color like his beak, contrasts his pale red body quite nicely and has a minimalistic flame motif on it, indicating that yes, Magby is a fire type, which is the one and only piece of clarity that this line has going for it. And as a final aesthetic choice, Magby sports the e-girl's must-have accessory, a solid black choker band around its neck, indicating that Magby is well and truly ready to perform squats and sell bathwater on stream to simps. Now, as a fire Pokemon, it won't shock you, primarily because it's a fire type, not an electric type, but it won't shock you to learn that these little scamps are incredibly heat resistant, and in fact they are found in volcanic craters and other areas of volcanic activity. Its body has magma-like blood circulating, which reaches 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 593.3333 degrees Celsius, which is pretty incredibly hot, and I'm beginning to question whether or not it was such a good idea to populate the store with this horde of miniature volcanoes. And you know what, come to think about it, no wonder we've had so many customers with 3rd degree burns lately. Because yeah, it's been at least, I'd say 50% more than usual. Moving on though, Magby's little beak mouth thing can be used as an indicator for its health, as Magby tends to spit out hot fire regularly to indicate all sorts of things. So for example, if a Magby spits out yellow flames, then you can guarantee that it is in good health. Meanwhile, if Magby spits out green flames, then it is a sign that your Magby has recently become a vegan. Or if its flames are rainbow, then this is a sign that your Magby has recently discovered itself and emerged from its volcanic closet. Congratulations, Magby. However, if you ever spot black smoke within any of these flames, then that is a clear indicator that your Magby is fatigued. And on top of that, if flames drip from its nose, which, gonna be honest, I don't know where the nose is, but if that does happen, then you will need to lie the poor baby down and let it have a rest in a lovely little bubbling pool of magma. And yes, it does have to be magma, because if you were to insert Magby into something more water-based, like a pond, then apparently the entire pond would just dry up due to Magby's extreme heat. So after wrecking all of your neighbors' ponds and pools for roughly 30 levels, Magby will finally evolve into MAGMAR, the original MacLeod from Generation 1. And if you were confused as to what Magby was meant to be, then your confusion will continue. Starting with its head, Magmar has lost all but 2 of its round, supple spheres that don't remind me in any way of lady parts. But immediately below this cleavage head, Magmar's beak appears to be more defined and is a fleshy color compared to the rest of its yellow and red body. And as for the rest of said body, well, it really is a mess, isn't it? Its arms contain ruffled feathers, ? Something that reminds me very much of flamenco dancers, and whilst whilst Magmar retains his choker, he now has 2 chokers on his ankles as well. Silly Magmar, ankles are not necks. Oh, and it also has spikes, lots of spikes protruding out of its back, as well as a Charmander tail, complete with flame and everything. And look, I'm just going to say it, Magmar should not exist. This is what happens when you take the rejected features of the original 150 Pokemon and slap them together in a confusingly arousing, flaming, and curvaceous package. Now, just like Magby, Magmar resides in areas of high volcanic activity, and it prefers to hang out at the mouth of a volcano, staring deep into the lava from above and contemplating its very existence. Also, if Magby's 1100 degree Fahrenheit body was not crazy enough, well, Magmar's body reaches double that, averaging a very spicy 2200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just over 1200 degrees Celsius, which is pretty much the exact temperature of lava and a destructive force that should never have been brought into civilized society, let alone be harnessed deep within your balls. Magmar's body is constantly coated in a layer of flames, giving him a slight orange glow that some may even have likened to that of a fireball. Although maybe sun is a better word than fireball. However, at the same time, is the sun not just one gigantic fireball in the sky? I'll tell you what though, Magmar and the sun have at least one thing in common, because they're both exceedingly difficult to look at. Magmar cannot stand cold places, and if you take one to some snowy mountains, then it will blow scorching flames around the place to make it far more suitable to its tastes. And I suppose a general good rule of thumb is that if it's hot, they are happy, and if it's not, then they are crappy. Meanwhile, as a fighter, Magmar will not hold back, blowing scorchingly hot flames from every orifice of its body, which are disturbingly numerous, in an attempt to intimidate its rival. And if a Magmar has grown angry, then it will not cease attacks or come down until its enemy has been burned to ash. That's right, Magmar's enemy needs to be beaten to devastation, the likes of which can only be equated to ash in any Kanto gym battle. Now, with Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, an interesting item was introduced to us called the Magmarizer. And if you were to trade Magmar whilst holding this item, then it will receive a newly evolved form, being Magmortar. And to be fair, it's not as bad as Magmar. I mean, at the very least, its forehead breasts were removed, meaning that it can now go out in public without a bra, but still, what exactly is Magmortar? I feel like I've asked this question with the entire line. So first up, Magmortar's eyes appears to be shrouded in a dark band, which meets its peachy colored beak, which is less bird looking, and honestly could just pass as lips. Some real thick lips with very sexually suggestive smirk, that is. I mean, cut that out, Magmortar. I'm trying to work. Meanwhile, its choker has expanded into what is now more of a bib, honestly, reaching down past its neck, if it even has one, again, most of the necks. And it also has 2 flaming shoulder flames on either side of it. Its arms are now yellow, with a black band at the elbow and what appears to be a cannon on each hand, opening sort of like a trumpet, assumingly in order to introduce itself to polite company. Sort of like a dun-dun-dun-dun, it is I, Magmortar. But with its arm cannons, Magmortar will also hurl fireballs from them to its enemies, which are recorded to be an insane 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's like 1.5 lavas worth of hot. These fireballs will not only pummel a foe to the ground, but will also burn them to nothing but a blackened crisp. And repeated shots from this arm will actually threaten to melt poor Magmortar if it isn't careful, so definitely don't rely on its cannons too heavily if you consider yourself a responsible trainer. However, if you consider yourself, an irresponsible trainer and have access to a reasonable amount of money, then well, do I have the Pokemon for you. And to find out some more about Magmortar, we can look into its Pokedex entries, starting with Diamond and Pearl, which state, it blasts fireballs of over 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit from the ends of its arms. It lives in volcanic craters. And okay, we didn't actually learn anything new from that, so how about we go to Heart Gold and Soul Silver? It blasts fireballs of over 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, we'll skip that as well, so how about we move to Black and White? When shooting 3,600 degrees fireball, X and Y? It blasts fireballs of over 3,600, oh crap, come on. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? It blasts fireballs of over 3,600, okay, I give up. Magmortar is one of those Pokemon where all of its Pokedex entries are more or less the exact same thing, except for Sun and Moon, which notably states that it launches fireballs hotter than 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning that over time, the only thing that has changed about Magmortar is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit of temperature, so yay for whatever abomination of nature that this thing is. Now let's move on to look at some of the abominable trainers who utilize this line of Pokemon, and most notably we have Blaine, who leads the Cinnabar Island Gym. He features a Magmar on his team when you revisit Kanto in Gold and Silver, and this is also shown in the Heart Gold and Soul Silver remakes, and as a special treat, when you rematch him, his Magma will have evolved into MAGMAR. And what a wonderful treat that is. Blaine also has Magma in the anime though, which is notable for facing off against and losing to Ash's Charizard. Jumping over to the Hoenn region, let's now look at Flannery, the gym leader of Laveridge Town. And while she doesn't have a Pokemon from this line in her battle party, primarily because she has far better options, which apparently consist of not just one but two Slugma, which are arguably more aesthetically appealing than the Magma line at least. But for some reason you can find a MAGMAR on all of Flannery's teams in her Black and White 2 tournament matches. And next up is Sinnoh, and we are going to head straight to the Pokemon League, where Flint battles his challengers with a MAGMAR in his team in Pokemon Platinum. And very notably, Flint's entire sense of fashion also seems to be inspired by Magmar, as Flint also looks like an ass clown. Some more fun facts about the Magmar line. According to the Bulbapedia, Magby has the lowest possible maximum performance in any given stat of any given Pokemon, only capable of reaching 3 stars in any of its 5 stats. Tough luck, little man. The entire Magmar line seems to be inspired by a combination of things, many things, such as a mythical fire salamander, as well as an iguana because of the spikes on Magma and Magmar's backs, as well as a booby, which is actually a type of duck. So perhaps Magmar's supple head spheres are simply a strangely implemented pun. Some even speculate that Magma in particular is inspired by a Karura, which is a type of fire-breathing humanoid creature with a bird-like head. And Magmar is of course a more exaggerated version of this, albeit with futuristic artillery arms. And finally, a truly useless fact: given everything we've spoken about, the Magmar line has the most appropriate names possible in Japanese, being Bobby, Booba, and Booburn, the last one of which sounds particularly painful. And there you have it. That was everything that you need to know about Magby and its cursed evolutions. They're great Pokemon, just don't touch them or you'll more than likely burn to death. But you know what, value customer? You've got to take risks every now and then, both physical and financial. You've got to risk it for the biscuit. The biscuit in this case being Magby. Also, don't eat your Magbys. But please do make sure to stop by Team PokeMart and say hi, which you can do in the comments below. And if you're interested in some of our other merchandise, then please do click these tantalizing links over here. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for regular updates on our new stock. But for now, this has been Team PokeMart, and I'll see you next time.